What's up everyone? Today I'm down at Touring Sport and behind me is a 2019 BMW S1000RR. Huge thanks to them for providing this bike for me today. I will have all of their information down in the description below. This model is finished off in black and it has an MSRP just over $18,000. This bike comes with a 4-stroke, 4-cylinder, 4 titanium valves per cylinder engine that is liquid cooled. It's paired only to a 6-speed transmission with first gear being all the way down. Neutral is halfway between first and second, and then you go up 4 gears all the way to 6th. This engine produces 205 horsepower at 13,000 RPM and 83 pound-feet of torque at 11,000 RPM. It is chain driven to the rear wheel. The dry weight is about 427 pounds. It can do 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, and it has a top speed of 186 miles an hour. And with the fuel capacity of 4.4 gallons, you can expect around 37 miles per gallon, depending on how the bike is ridden. The wheelbase measures 56.7 inches. It has an overall length of 81.6. The width is 33.4. It has a height of 45.3 inches, and the seat height is at 32.4 inches. Starting up front, this has LED headlights along with the brights. In between the headlights is a nice inlet to provide more cooling to the engine. The front turn signals are mounted down below on each fairing. Up front, this has two 320mm floating discs with radial 4-piston calipers and ABS. The suspension is an upside-down telescopic 45mm fork with wheel travel at 4.7 inches and a rake of 66.5 degrees. This front end also features nice sharp angles as well. Moving to the side, this features 7-spoke aluminum wheels. They measure 17 by 3.7 inches up front and 17 by 6 inches in the rear. This has an aluminum composite frame, a full Akrapovic exhaust system, and there are very sharp lines running down the side fairings and continue on to the rear cowl. Also available for this bike is the optional M package. You can get carbon fiber wheels, which are 3.7 pounds lighter. You can get an M seat, M battery, and an M style swing arm, overall losing about 7.7 pounds on this bike. And finishing up in the rear with a single 220mm disc and one single piston floating caliper with ABS. This has a cast aluminum double-sided swing arm. The rear suspension has travel up to 4.6 inches. This has an LED tail light and brake light, and the turn signals are nicely placed on the license plate holder. Now moving on to the gas tank, it has very clean lines running down the side of it. This has a 2-piece seat. The front of the back seat has RR spelled out on it. And then moving our way to the back section here, very sharp and angled lines run throughout the brake light alongside of the rear seat too, giving it a really nice 3D shape. With the key now, we'll go ahead and check out all of the electronics on the bike. So just hopping on here, when I insert the key, if I push it down and all the way to the left, the handlebars are now in the lock position, so I'm unable to turn them. You just push this down to the regular position again, and then once we switch it on, you will see the 6.5-inch display screen. You can see on the screen now on the bottom left is what mode the bike is in. Currently it's in sport mode. I'll be going over that later in this video. You have your gear selection next to that along with the miles per hour above that. To the far right is the clock. You also have the odometer. There's a couple other settings I'll go through here soon. And then on the left side is the large tach, revving up to just over 14,000 RPM. To the right of that is the shift light, and you have the turn signals just below that. Moving to the left grip, you have quite a lot of options to go through. This bike does have cruise control, so we can turn that on and off. You have ABS and the hazards. These buttons on the left with trip, lap, and set, these are how you control the right side of the screen. So you can see the odometer, you have your range, your trip A, trip B, along with your average MPG and average miles per hour. So it's very easy to go through that screen using these controls. There's also a slick button on the far right with a plus and minus on it, and then you have your turn signals just below that. The clutch, of course, is in front of that, and you have one side mirror. And then moving to the right side, obviously you have your other mirror, your front brake. Then this also features heated grips, so you have that button on the top with 2 different settings that you can see turn on there just under the miles per hour. You have the mode button for the different driving modes, so there's rain, sport, race, and slick. In slick mode, you can see the traction control setting. You have options 1 through 7 to be able to control that. And then below that is the engine start and kill switch. So it's off right now. We'll go ahead and do 2 clicks down and start it up. So finishing up now with any storage space on the bike, you do have some room underneath the second seat here. Just by twisting the key to the left, we can go ahead and unlock that and pull this seat completely out. You have enough room for your license, your registration, wallet, phone, things like that. So it's not a crazy amount of space, but it's enough for those personal items like that. All right, so now it's time to get the S1000RR out on the road now. But just even getting out of the parking lot here, that exhaust is pretty loud on the right side of me there, so it's going to be interesting to see if it has a drone to it or not. So while I'm sitting at a stoplight right here, just talking about the seat height, I am 5'10" and I am flat-footed right now, so that makes it very easy to maneuver this bike. It's not a very heavy bike, just over 400 pounds, kind of your normal weight for a 1000cc bike like this. All right, so now getting on it here a little bit. You can definitely feel that pull pretty hard, and that was babying it, maybe even quarter throttle. But I'll do a couple more tests here soon as we get to some more twisty roads. Just kind of getting familiar with the bike for right now. You can hear some of the pops in that exhaust when you let off there. So let's go ahead and do another acceleration from second gear. Boy, does that sound really good with that aftermarket exhaust. Yeah, this is definitely a fast bike, and that exhaust makes it sound so good. So far, just doing those couple tests there, it's not really a super loud exhaust, you know, on my right side. I don't think, I mean, you can hear those pops like you just did, but I don't think it's going to be something that's too crazy or going to drone too much on the highway. We'll get going some faster speeds here so that way we can hear it. Going over the seating position, so far I really like it. It's not like I'm too hunched over or anything. I have all my camera gear in a backpack on me right now, and it's definitely doable. I have no complaints with that. I like where the handlebars are positioned. They're not too low, and it just gives you a really good ergonomic feel for a sport bike like this. Everything is very easy to read as well. This 6.5-inch screen, I have no complaints with the lettering or anything on it. It's very easy to have a readout for anything that you're looking at. So just cruising at about 45 right now. I can obviously hear the exhaust to my right there a lot more than if it was a center-mounted exhaust out of the back. But going just normal speeds around town here, it's not really an uncomfortable drone or anything like that. It definitely sounds good, and I like hearing that pitch on this bike for sure. All right, so I've switched over to sport mode, just using this button on the right handle here, and we're going to give it a little bit of gas. Woo! Oh my gosh, that is such a smooth accelerating bike, and it gets up to speed just like that. Wow, and it sounds so good too. The handling on this bike, it's very easy to maneuver where you'd like this bike to go. We're gonna head back and take this turn again, just taking it a little quicker this time. Woo! Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is not a beginner bike. This is definitely a bike that you need to have had riding experience to hop on this one and take it out. With all the different driving modes, you can take this out in the rain if you want. You can go out on the track. One thing that I want to try now, going about 40 miles an hour, is the cruise control button. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on right now and just push forward for set. I don't think you guys will see it, but the green light is on right now, and now I can take my right hand off of the throttle. That is very cool to do, something I don't do a lot because I don't have cruise control. So I think that about wraps up my walk-around review and test ride on the 2019 BMW S1000RR. Huge thanks again to Touring Sport for providing this bike for me today. This is an awesome sports bike to be on. It has plenty of power, lots of technology features, and it handles incredible. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.